Let's get it! 580 Sports Talk is live and direct on a Thursday. Good afternoon, one and all. Thanks so much for being with us. We are here for the next 3 hours on the Sports Voice of Kansas. 580 WIBW, FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com, on your mobile device, on the MSC Radio app, and in living color on our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk. However, wherever, whenever you're tuning in to 580 Sports Talk today, thank you so much for being a part of the show. My name is Dan Lucero. Spencer Dupuy will be along in the 4 o'clock hour. We will be with you until 6 o'clock tonight for 580 Sports Talk. It's our final episode of the week. We're taking tomorrow off, observing the 4th of July holiday a day early, so a little 3-day weekend for us. We've got you until 6 o'clock tonight, then we'll hand it off to the Royals Baseball Network, the finale of a 3-game series between the Royals and the Tampa Bay Rays. The Royals trying to avoid the sweep. If I had $1 for every time I've had to say that on the radio this year, I'd have probably $7, $8, which, I mean, you know, you can eat good at like Taco Bell for that, but wouldn't have that much money. But I said it a lot is the point. And once again, the Royals find themselves in a spot where they must win to avoid the sweep after losing last night to the Tampa Bay Rays. First pitch tonight at 6:40. Stephen Kolek returns from paternity leave to start for the boys in blue. Ian Seymour, who was the bulk reliever last Thursday when the Rays almost no-hit the Royals in Tampa Bay, gets the nod as the more traditional starting pitcher for the Rays tonight. Again, 7 o'clock, first pitch. Did I say 7 o'clock? 6 o'clock pregame, 6:40 first pitch. You guys know how these things go. 580 WIBW and FM 104.9. So we got 3 hours to spend with each other. They're our final 3 hours together of the week, and we are jam-packed today. We got 2 great guests. Very excited to bring you the show today. We're going to talk some Royals baseball. More bad news for the Royals, as if they could possibly stomach any more. They got more yesterday. Whatever surgery Cole Ragans has, and nobody's saying other than it hasn't been confirmed that it's his 3rd Tommy John surgery. Not a lot of guys return to a major league mound after 3 Tommy John surgeries, by the way. It is not a long list. It's happened, but it's not a long list. Nobody's confirming what kind of surgery Cole Ragans has had to clear out that left elbow impingement, but it sure doesn't seem like he's going to pitch until maybe this time next year, if we're lucky. That's sort of the vibe that I got from J.J. Piccolo's comments on the subject. And it puts the Royals in a miserable spot because I believe that they should be trying to be good in 2027. And I believe that they should run up the white flag on 2026. The white flag has been run up for them, whether they want to run it up or not. And they should be sellers, aggressive sellers at the trade deadline. But here's the problem. What everybody's going to want and might be most willing to pay the Royals for might be guys they cannot afford to trade if they want to be good next year. It's a fine line that the Royals find themselves having to walk because of the miserable year it's been for the Royals and their starting pitching staff. So we'll dive into that a little bit. We'll preview tonight's game, Royals-Rays, later on in the show. We're going to talk some soccer on the program today. Right at the top, Team USA into the round of 16. First knockout game victory since 2002. The U.S. beat Bosnia and Herzegovina 2-0 last night. And I want to talk about it, and I want to unpack what exactly it was that made me particularly emotional in a way I didn't expect watching that game. In particular, the goal by Malik Tillman that sealed it in I believe it was the 81st minute, maybe the 82nd. I don't have the box score in front of me, but with 10 minutes to play roughly in regulation time. I just thought it was a really beautiful moment, and I want to talk through that and talk a little bit about the game. And it is the kind of thing that feels like everybody's doing. Like, this is the time of it that, you don't have to be a soccer expert. You don't even have to particularly love the sport, but it's Team USA, right? And it's on home turf, right? And it's the biggest sporting event in the world, so might as well at least check it out, right? You get to that point, there's a lot of bandwagoning happening. And I'm not anti-bandwagon by any stretch of the imagination, especially not when it comes to Team USA. But I want to talk about it. I want to talk about the game, and I want to talk about what it made me feel. And maybe you felt the same way watching that match last night. We'll talk about that on the program today. I mentioned two great guests, as per normal, on a Thursday. Rick Peterson of TopSports.News will join us at the bottom of the 3 o'clock hour for the local sports spotlight. We'll go through the rest of the Shawnee County Sports Awards for the year with Pistol coming up at the bottom of the 3 o'clock hour today. The bottom of the 4 o'clock hour, our Chiefs insider, Matt Derrick, will join us a day earlier than usual. Matt, of course, typically joins us on Fridays on the program, but we're going to have Matt chat with us today. There's not a ton of Chiefs news to really chew on with Matt, but we'll find some stuff to talk about. Typically around the 4th of July, we talk about what are you throwing on the barbecue. So we'll find something to talk about with Matt Derrick. We'll have a good time with Matt coming up at the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour. Chiefs insider Matt Derrick. Plus, we'll not only have room for all of our Thursday shenanigans, we'll sneak in some of our Friday shenanigans as well. We'll play either or over-under and change my mind. And on second thought, we'll crown a short week champion on What Is Wrong With You. We'll, of course, have 580 Sports Talk headlines, including a proper World Cup roundup and a whole lot more. Want to hear from you on the program today? Text line is open. 785-272-9429 is the number. That is 785-272-9429. Can also interact with the program via our YouTube chat. If you're watching on YouTube today, name of the channel is 580 Sports Talk on YouTube. Somebody did unsubscribe. Some joker out there having a laugh with us. Or maybe just a YouTube bot that got zapped. But anyway, we're sitting on 999 again on the subscriber count today. We got to get back to 1,000. So if you wanted to be the 1,000th subscriber, but you found, somebody beat me to it. Bummer. Well, that's lame. I'll wait until they're going to hit another milestone, and then I'll be subscriber number 1,500 or something. No, you have a renewed opportunity to take the ticker from 999 to 1,000. How can you possibly resist? So go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. 580 Sports Talk on YouTube. Doesn't cost you anything but a click or a tap of your screen. Again, 580 Sports Talk on YouTube. And hop in that live chat. I see Christopher and Mark H. and Vance and Paul. A lot of our regulars in the chat today. Appreciate you guys. Look forward to hearing from more of you as we go along. Again, the name of the chat is 580 Sports Talk. We begin today a place we don't usually begin. I'll give you a score from a game as a way to kind of launch headlong into it. Sometimes it's a Royals game, sometimes it's a Chiefs game. It's not usually United States 2, Bosnia and Herzegovina 0. But that's where we begin today. I think it's appropriate that we begin there today. The United States defeating Bosnia and Herzegovina in the round of 32 at Santa Clara Stadium in Santa Clara, California last night. Folarin Balogun's goal late in the first half, giving the United States the lead. Malik Tillman's free kick doubling the margin with about 10 minutes to play before stoppage time. And the United States defending for the final 30 minutes plus stoppage time. Down a man due to an outrageous red card shown to Balogun in the 63rd minute, I think it was. More on that later. There is widespread outrage about that red card, and there should be. The masses, the angry mob is right about that one, and we'll get more into that a little bit later on. But it's the first win for the United States over a European team in 5 years. Coincidentally, that was over Bosnia and Herzegovina. And it sends the United States into the round of 16. It's the first knockout round win for Team USA since 2002 when they beat Mexico in that World Cup. They advanced to the quarterfinals ultimately of that World Cup before they lost. They have not been to the quarterfinals since. They will have a chance to reach the quarterfinals if they defeat Belgium on Monday night in Seattle. I do not claim to be a soccer expert. There is a decent chance. Like, I know ball, just generally speaking. I don't say that in an arrogant fashion, but like I know what sports I know. I know which sports I have a background in. Obviously played baseball for a long time. Soccer's still one that I don't claim to be the expert on. I would not claim to be the expert. There's a chance if you're listening to this radio program, you might even know more soccer than I do. You might. But here's what I do know. I know what it looks like in a sporting event when one team is a hell of a lot better than the other team. And that's what that was last night. The United States didn't win that game by accident. They didn't win that game scoring a fluky goal and then hanging on for dear life. Quite the opposite, actually. The United States dominated the first half. They were unlucky not to be leading by multiple goals at halftime. And even after that preposterous red card put them down a man, the United States still played like the better and more confident team. Sometimes when you go down a man, and I've watched enough soccer to know this and see this, when you go down a man with the lead, you're playing the rest of the match like you're trying to kill a penalty in hockey, right? Just get the ball out of our end. The further away they have it from our goal, the less likely they are to score. We're just going to try and hoof it as far as we can over the midline, down the field. We're not trying to attack. We got everybody behind the ball. All 9 of our outfield players now are behind the ball, and we're just hanging on by our fingernails to this 1-goal lead. That was not how the United States approached the time frame in that game after the red card. They were looking for a second goal. Now they were, defending first, attacking second, certainly change of mindset, which is understandable, but they were looking to launch attack from defense and not just hoofing the ball down the field and hoping. It was not a lot of that. That's what you can do when you know you're the better team. They were trying to score the second goal, and they knew, okay, well, Bosnia and Herzegovina, they could get 1 against us shorthanded. They're not getting 2. They knew. We get a second, it's done. And it was. It was. So that was, I think, recognizable and an alien feeling to people, whether they are relatively new to following the exploits of American soccer or have been following American soccer all their lives. A relatively alien feeling to see Team USA take the field in a World Cup match and be not just better, a lot better than the team that they were playing. So that's part of last night. Likewise, I'm not one of the USMNT diehards who will tune in and watch like the international friendlies, exhibition matches for those who would prefer I not use too many foreign-sounding soccer terms on the program today. It's too early for that, Dan. Just call them exhibition games. This is America. I'm not one of those diehards, right? I don't tune in for the friendlies. I don't watch like the Gold Cup. I don't even really watch like the World Cup qualifiers, to be honest with you. It's not something I'm going to set aside my 2 hours because Team USA Soccer is playing. But I've seen enough over the years, whether it be in the World Cup or a Gold Cup final or just, here and there. I have seen enough USMNT games over the years to know this. Not only are they good, they've never been this good. They've never had a creative impetus like Christian Pulisic. They've never had as steady and as athletic a defense. They've never had anybody who could confidently bend a free kick over the wall and score like Malik Tillman did for the U.S.'s second goal. They've certainly never had a front man who could score goals the way Folarin Balogun can score goals. I mean, that was the biggest thing for years. If you'd asked me about 10 years ago, when I was most involved with watching the men's national team, I sort of divested emotionally after they didn't qualify for the 2018 World Cup. I just sort of, set them aside. I said, this is what it's going to be. They're never going to be really good. I just made my decision at that point that I wasn't going to emotionally invest. But I was into him a little bit in the early 2010s. Landon Donovan and Michael Bradley and Josie Altidore. I used to call him Josie Anti-Score because he could not find the back of the net when it mattered. Like, they never had a guy who was a goal threat like Balogun is. So they've got the pieces. This is not like, we all remember the Miracle on Ice, a bunch of college kids beating professionals on the Soviet Union team. Like, that ain't this. The United States has world-class soccer players. So that theoretical that we kicked around for years and years, well, what would happen if our best athletes played soccer? What if Allen Iverson played soccer? We'd rule the world. What if LeBron James? That theoretical. You've kicked it around in your head too, I'm sure. It's been rife for sports talk segments across our great nation for years and years and years. We don't have to have that conversation anymore. We've got real life world-class soccer players who play a lot and are important players on some of the best teams in the world. These aren't a bunch of MLS all-stars out there. These guys play for the big clubs. These guys are some of the best in the world. And we're starting to get the world-class athletes, at least the progeny of the world-class athletes. Alex Freeman, starting defender for Team USA, the son of former NFL wide receiver Antonio. Man, I got lightheaded when I heard that. I had to sit down. That really threw me for a loop. So not only was the United States better than Bosnia and Herzegovina, which is not a high bar to clear, I'll grant. They're just good, period. They're good. I think they're going to beat Belgium on Monday. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But I want to go back to the second goal. Team USA scored a free kick. And free kick goals are always kind of cool because there's all that buildup, right? I know some people say soccer is slow, but sometimes that free kick right in front of goal, that tension building is actually part of what makes that such a great moment. And the cathartic release of seeing that ball hit the back of the net. Malik Tillman scores that goal. I wasn't watching it live. I was watching the second half on tape delay. I had to take a bedtime break, not to be confused with a Powerade hydration break on the broadcast. I had to take a bedtime break. So I came back and I watched the whole second half on tape delay. And when that ball went in, and you hear that crowd in Santa Clara, and you watch the crowd shots of celebration, I found myself becoming emotional in a way that really surprised me. A wave of real, authentic patriotism. Not that performative America patriotism that we all kind of do on social media. Genuine, swelling pride in me that was my home and that was my team that scored that goal. It was an emotion, frankly, I wasn't prepared for. I wasn't prepared to feel that way. And it sort of occurred to me in that moment that we've been thinking about the United States and our place in the World Cup all wrong for all these years. This idea of, well, we're great at everything else. We don't need to be great at this. We're not great at this. The other countries can have it. Who cares? I will confess, that's kind of been my attitude a little bit towards the United States in the World Cup over the years. Yeah, they're going to go out there. They're not going to be great. They'll probably get through their group. They'll lose in the knockout pretty early. And then we can watch the real stars. The real good teams. We can watch the good ones after that. But we've been thinking about it all wrong. The joy of a moment like that is the point of the World Cup. I believe that we will win of it all is more important than whether or not we actually win. Evaluating the United States men's national team based on whatever it is your idea of what the team should do is to miss out on the fun of what they actually do. We're 2 days away from America's 250th birthday. And I think it would be fair to refer to this year's semi-quincentennial celebration as a little bit disjointed. And it feels like America has not rallied around this celebration in the same way, and I can only speak anecdotally here. I wasn't around for 1976. I know some of you were listening to the show. And I know people and have talked to people and have read articles by people and listened to podcasts from people who were around for 1976 and remember the fervor for the bicentennial being much different, much more widely felt and shared than the feeling this year for America's 250th. And I don't think that our lack of rallying behind the celebration isn't necessarily in how it's been commodified, but just in like the excitement level of people for this occasion, for this anniversary. But what I think has captured the patriotic imagination in a much greater way has been the World Cup. Because I think, and hosting the World Cup in particular has done this, has made the World Cup such a celebration of our country and what makes it great. That we are a big and blessed and diverse nation that is excited to share our blessing and our bounty with the rest of the world and will happily pull out a seat at our table and say, welcome, new friend, welcome. We are so glad you're here. We are excited to show you Buc-ee's. We are excited to take you to Waffle House. We are excited to show you these gigantic sporting palaces that came out of our tax dollars to build because these are beautiful venues. We're glad you're here and sharing in this moment with us. That's the greatness of America. That's the greatness of a World Cup. And I think that's where our patriotic fervor has maybe been redirected. That's where you're really feeling that patriotism, that wave of excitement. Watch those celebrations. Go back if you can watch the live broadcast feed, or maybe they've got extended highlights and you can watch Malik Tillman's goal. And you see that sea of people clothed in red, white, and blue celebrating this team clothed in red, white, and blue. And all the disparate backgrounds of those players celebrating. Pulisic grew up in the blue-collar town of Hershey, Pennsylvania. Tim Ream's a Midwesterner, like you and me. He's from St. Louis. Weston McKennie and Tyler Adams, the Black Stars in our midfield from Texas and New York, respectively. Serginho Dest, born in the Netherlands to a Surinamese-American father. Malik Tillman, born on a military base in Germany. And Folarin Balogun, born of English parents in Brooklyn, when airline staff refused to let his mother fly back home while 7 months pregnant. That decision by that airline staff made Folarin Balogun a United States citizen, made him eligible to play for us. And despite growing up in England, he made the choice to represent us, to represent this country. All of those stories are in their own way American stories, just like all of ours, just like mine. I'm the great-great-grandson of Spanish immigrants, Basque immigrants. My great-grandmother would not let me leave that out. And when we celebrate our team, we are celebrating America. We're not thinking about how this country is so often stratified between red team and blue team. We are desperate, many times, many of us, not to think about the red team and the blue team. I know that we are. I know that you come to this show in part, many of you. You have told me, you have expressed that you come to this show and do not want to have to be confronted with or think about that particular point of division in our country at this time in our history. And I try to avoid that at all costs because it's not worth it to me, not because I don't have opinions. I do. I'm like anybody else who pays attention to the news. I have opinions on the things going on in my world, but I try to avoid a lot of those topics and a lot of that stratification because it's not worth it to me to even run the risk of making anybody in this audience, any of you listening to this right now or watching this right now, feel like you aren't welcome here. I don't care who you voted for. This is a big table, and you're welcome here. You're welcome on 580 Sports Talk. And I've never, ever wanted this to be a place where anybody, even for a second, felt like they were unwelcome. So that's why I do the things I do the way that I do them. But in moments like this, we come to find, moments like this World Cup, moments like watching Team USA, we come to find that patriotism has never been the exclusive domain of the red team or the blue team. What it is to be patriotic and what it is to love America looks and feels different from one man and woman to the next. Right up to the point where Malik Tillman bends in that free kick. And then it all erupts and explodes and comes together in such a beautiful way. I think that's what moved me watching that goal last night. I'm not the first person to share this sentiment, and I won't be the last. But boy, there's a hell of a lot more that unites us than divides us. And it's really, really cool to having one of those things, sports, taking center stage at this exact moment in our country's history. Really damn cool. 785-272-9429 is the text line number. 580 Sports Talk is the YouTube channel. Want to hear from you. We got Rick Peterson at TopSports.News coming up in just a little bit. Matt Derrick from ChiefsDigest.com, our Chiefs insider, joining us a day early. He'll be on at the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour. Got some Royals talk. Got what is wrong with you. Got headlines. Got a great show for you today. So glad you're here at this big table on 580 Sports Talk. .34 on 580 Sports Talk. We're just getting started on this Thursday with you until 6 o'clock tonight for Royals baseball, 6:40 first pitch. No show tomorrow. No Royals baseball tomorrow. There's a World Cup game at Kansas City Stadium tomorrow night. So Royals get the rare Saturday, Sunday, Monday wraparound series. We'll be back on Monday. We'll have a shortened show that day because Royals play a 1:10 first pitch. A little business person special on a Monday. Kind of dig that. But it's our last show of the week here on 580 Sports Talk. Appreciate the folks in the chat. Mark H said, well said, Dan, and amen. Appreciate that. Paul, in the YouTube comments, similar sentiment. I'm not sure anything brings together quite like sports. Hey, man, it's as true as it gets. It's as true as it gets. And, man, I genuinely was not expecting to have that reaction to to feel the way that I did when Tillman scored that second goal last night. Shout out, by the way, if you were watching the game live, Stu Holden, the color analyst on Fox, he was all over that. He predicted exactly who was going to take the free kick and what he was going to do. He was going to hit it hard. He was going to dip it over the wall. And very impressive. And I don't think we ever had a guy who could do that. We might have had like one guy who could do that, but he was like the guy. Landon Donovan. Like, who else is good on the team? Well, we have Landon Donovan. Now we got a bunch of guys who are good. And I think they're going to beat Belgium on Monday. I do. Seattle is a great place for that game. If there's a city after Kansas City that can make a claim for being the best soccer city in America, or at least the best soccer crowds in America, I think you got to say Seattle. Kansas City, number one with a bullet, but Seattle's up there. And Seattle Stadium will be rocking for that match. I think U.S. is going to win. I think that's going to win. Clayton maybe missed out on the joke. So all the FIFA regulations are that they cannot refer to the stadiums by their corporate names. So I've been covering my mouth on the video stream and doing that kind of Sato voice when I refer to Kansas City Stadium, the home of the Chiefs, because that's what it is for the month because FIFA said so. It's a gag. Anyway, appreciate you tuning in. Also from the text line, we had texters from the 316 and the 715 both check in and ask, hey, am I subscriber number 1,000? I'm going to call it a tie. We're back over 1,000, folks. We did it again. So that's good enough for us. You both, we're going to call it a tie. But thank you for listening and subscribing. From the 785, our friends out in Mission Creek Township say the Historical Museum in Alma has had multiple international visitors delighted at our frontier heritage and stories. God bless America. I got a big kick out of driving back. I took a little trip over the weekend and really didn't register with me. 'Cause I flew standby. Like, man, it's tougher than usual getting a flight out of Kansas City on standby. That's weird. Why is that? Oh, yeah. World Cup. Duh. But driving there and back on the interstate and seeing signs on the highway, soccer fans, visit Lecompton. You should. You go check out, you want to talk about some Kansas history. They've got it in Lecompton. But just this idea that we have the opportunity to bring the world here and share our stories with them, it's just a neat thing, a really neat thing. I'm glad you've had that experience out there in Alma. And everywhere else, you might have had that experience to maybe encounter a foreign traveler. It's just so cool that it's here, like not like in Topeka. Although Hummer Sports Park, I think, would have been a great venue. I think we would have sold it out. Yager Stadium, I think we would have sold out. But having it be in our backyard virtually has been a really, really neat thing about this World Cup. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Rick Peterson of TopSports.News is going to join us for this week's Local Sports Spotlight on 580 Sports Talk.
Clear eyes, full hearts. Can't lose.
The football team at my high school, they were tough.
And that makes Rick a citizen of the world.
We are joined on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits hotline by Rick Peterson of TopSports.News for this week's edition of the Local Sports Spotlight. We do it every Thursday at this time. Rick Peterson covers Shawnee County High School athletics and the Washburn Ichabods for TopSports.News. And I feel bad for interrupting, Pistol. You were enjoying an all-time cinema classic. You're watching Spaceballs this afternoon, and yeah. I hate to interrupt it. If I had used the Schwartz, I might have known that you were in the middle of a great film, and I would have bumped you to the 4 o'clock hour.
Yeah, no, I've seen it probably 100 times, so I can work you in.
Boy, Mel Brooks, 100 years old.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and they've been showing a lot of those movies, and I've been watching about every single one of them.
Is that your favorite Mel Brooks movie, Spaceballs?
Yeah, it'd be up there. I like Blazing Saddles, but that's not polite to say.
No. Hey, if that's impolite, that makes two of us being impolite. I think Blazing Saddles is one of the greatest movies ever made.
Yeah.
It's Twoo. It's Twoo.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Rick Peterson of TopSports.News is our guest here on 580 Sports Talk. And it's time to talk about the Shawnee County Athletes of the Year. Those have been crowned over on your website, TopSports.News, the Senior Girls and Boys Athletes of the Year. Let's begin with the Girls Senior Athlete of the Year. No surprise to me anyway. Kaylin Haney, the standout from Silver Lake, a volleyball state champion, a basketball state champion, a softball state champion. Then on the same day she accomplished that feat, she went down and took a state medal, went fourth in the javelin. It's one thing to be a four-sport athlete. It's one thing to win 3 state championships in your 3-team sports. But beyond that, Kaylin Haney wasn't a passenger on any of those teams. She was right in the middle of the action. She was the player. I think she's Miss Kansas basketball, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah, from the KBCA. Certainly the fulcrum of that basketball state championship, but an integral piece of those other teams as well. Just an incredible year for Kaylin Haney.
She will be remembered for a long time as one of the best multi-sport athletes in county history. Like I said, all-state in softball, too. Third in the javelin, which she certainly doesn't look like a javelin thrower, but she's got great technique and great athletic ability. And, yeah, in my mind, that was probably decided as soon as I started putting the list together, just because her overall body of work.
Almost forgot, 5th in state golf.
Yeah. Yep. And a former state champion in golf, by the way.
Yes.
As a sophomore, and they lost her junior year on a tiebreaker.
Maybe you can only speak to this anecdotally, Pistol. I feel like we've had the conversation over the years about specialization and how that can be a negative, certainly at the higher levels of high school sports where you tend to see more of it. You see less of it, obviously, at the smaller schools where fewer athletes. You need people to play 2-3 sports sometimes just to fill out the teams. But athletes doing the multiple sports in one season, does it feel like we see less of that now than we used to, or do you still feel like we see the same? Because it takes a caliber of athlete to decide, I'm going to do that because I can be really good and help teams in 2 sports at once.
Yeah, I think it comes down to a lot of school pride, a lot of the fact that your friends are also playing on those teams, and you want to be a part of it with them. And let's not forget this: it takes coaches that are willing to share, and because they are going to have times where an athlete maybe can't be at their game or their practices and stuff, but they know it's for the best of the team to let them share. And I always, and you know how I feel. I mean, I'm a huge multi-sport guy.
Rick Peterson of TopSports.News joining us here on the local sports spotlight on 580 Sports Talk. We do it every Thursday at this time. The boys athlete of the year for Shawnee County, boys senior athlete of the year, Landon Munoz of the Washburn Rural Wrestling Team, a 3-time state champion, only the third wrestler in city history to win 3 state titles. And then we talked a little bit about Landon last week, Pistol, but that's the kind of accomplishment that gets you remembered, because the other 2 to do it are names that won't be soon forgotten in the city. Easton Brocksterman, who did it fairly recently. He was a senior in 2025. Obviously, the great Melvin Douglas, who was a multi-time Olympian. And that's pretty good company for Coach Munoz to be in.
And that's probably, I could have went with several different ones for that award. And just what you just mentioned is kind of what turned the table for me with Landon. Melvin Douglas was a 3-time high school champion, a 2-time NCAA champion in Oklahoma, a 2-time Olympian, and I think he would have had a third if it hadn't been for boycott. He's the one you always start with when you're judging anybody. And then Easton Brocksterman made it to the finals as a freshman and then won 3 straight in fashion. So if you could even mention Landon in those terms, I think that's why I felt I had to go with him.
Now moving on, we have met the finalists over at TopSports.News for the Washburn University Male and Female Athletes of the Year. No class designation here, so all classes, freshman through senior, are eligible for this particular award. Let's talk through that process first, Pistol. Men or women, which did you find it tougher to get down to the final 5 in, given the outstanding athletic year that Washburn just concluded?
Yeah, women was tougher just because there were so many great athletes in all those sports, and that was tough to do. But men was tough too, but women was by far the tougher. I had my list down, and I did 10 finalists. I could have had 15. So it was a very hard. The reason I went with all classes is because we know now a lot of times there's a lot of turnover, a lot of transfers and stuff like that, and it's kind of a rarity anymore to see somebody to go through their whole career at one school, like a Jack Batchelor. So that's why I thought it was fair for all of them to include everybody.
And it's one of those things, too, where in college sports, you can maybe sometimes overlook what get called at the big school levels, the non-revenue sports. Like football and basketball get a lot of the oxygen when it comes to college athletics, and rightfully so, understandably so. And certainly at Washburn, when you had the incredible season the men's basketball team had, and the women's basketball team making it to the NCAA tournament again after a long drought there. A lot of attention to those sports and football with a new head coach. And some of those athletes from the other sports, the Olympic sports in particular, sometimes those individual efforts can get overlooked. But when you're talking about over on the boys' side, track athletes like Justin Forty, who was a national champion, or Jake Muller, who's a former Hayden Wildcat who's had a terrific career, or Donald Cabet, a 3-time All-American in cross country. It's kind of cool to put those guys, even if you only get to pick one winner, to put those guys alongside the names that everybody in the community might recognize, like Jack Batchelor or Dylan Clausen.
Yeah, and that's why I do it. And it is easy to overlook some of those in other sports, but I try to at least keep track of them and see what they're doing, because hey, let's face it, those athletes work just as hard, if not harder, than anybody in any other sport.
No question about that. Rick Peterson of TopSports.News joining us here on 580 Sports Talk. One last thing for you, Pistol. You had another feature at TopSports.News the other day about the growth of the Darting Basketball Academy, which was started not long ago, and now it's coming into its third year. And you had a chance to speak to Carrie Darting about the program. Describe how it has grown and the benefit that they feel like they're having, not just the growth of the academy for the growth of the academy's sake, but the impact that it is having on local basketball competition.
Well, they want what Carrie's objective is to give more international players the chance to come over to the United States and play either at the college level or at the prep school level. And the thing about that is, just kind of like we talk about with the other sports at Washburn, these guys overseas a lot of times can get overlooked unless they're a big-time NBA type prospect or something like that. So he has 80 coming in, 72 boys, 8 girls. They're going to have a big showcase in front of like 45 coaches next week, and it's just all about exposure.
Rick Peterson covers local sports for TopSports.News, Shawnee County High School sports, Washburn University athletics, anything that falls under the scope of local sports. You can read all about it over at TopSports.News. Pistol joins us every Thursday at this time for the local sports spotlight. Pistol, enjoy your 4th of July weekend. We'll talk to you again next week.
Look forward to it.
That is Rick Peterson. We'll step aside for a timeout. When we come back, it's on second thought. I almost spoonerized that. I don't know what that would have sounded like, and I'm afraid to go back and find out. On second thought, to wrap up the 3 o'clock hour, 580 Sports Talk. On second thought, I agreed with our guest Paul Carr's assessment when we had him on prior to the start of the World Cup. Paul Carr, of course, former WIBW staffer, now the guru of minutia, lead soccer researcher for like every network that airs soccer and involved with True Media Sports. We had Paul on to break down the World Cup with us before the start. And I remember asking him, what's the expectation for Team USA? What's reasonable to expect for them? And he said making the round of 16 would be par. Like if they made the round of 16, they had a good World Cup. That meant they advanced from their group and they won a knockout stage game, which they had not done in 24 years prior to last night and their win over Bosnia and Herzegovina. It didn't feel like they played particularly well in the run-up to the tournament. And I think there was some reason for healthy skepticism around the United States team. And I indulged in some of that healthy skepticism. They're good, man. They're just good. And now, never mind par. The United States, if we're going to string out the golf metaphor, they've got a matchup against Belgium they can win. This feels like a 3-foot birdie putt, maybe a 6-foot birdie putt. A little trickier than that. I mean, Belgium's got a good history and some world-class players too. But it's going to feel disappointing if you don't make that putt. You get a 6-footer for birdie, you're mad as hell if you walk off the green and cart a par. Feels doable for the United States to make the quarterfinals, something they also haven't done since 2002. And then, I mean, we've already seen Germany go out. We've seen the Netherlands go out. Like, anything can happen at this tournament. Even maybe a deep Cinderella run for the United States men's national team. And I didn't think it was trending in that direction going into the World Cup. And I had that wrong. I regret the error. Coming up at the 4 o'clock hour, 580 Sports Talk. The news gets worse and worse for the Kansas City Royals, and I don't know what the heck they're supposed to do to put a division championship caliber pitching staff on the field in 2027. JJ Piccolo's got to figure that out. It's literally his job. Thankfully, it's not my job because I'm at a bit of a loss. Also, Matt Derrick of ChiefsDigest.com will join us at the bottom of the hour, and will crown a short week champion with no show tomorrow on What Is Wrong With You. Stay with us through the local news and the national news. This is 580 Sports Talk on 580 WIBW. Let's get it. Now, number 2, 580 Sports Talk on this Thursday. Dan Lucero, Spencer Dupuis with you on the Sports Voice of Kansas, 580 WIBW, FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com, on your mobile device, on the MSC Radio app, and on our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk. Again, however you're joining the program today, whenever you're tuning into the show, wherever you're listening from, we appreciate you taking some time and hanging out with us here on 580 Sports Talk. It's our final show of the week. We're off tomorrow. We're with you until 6 o'clock tonight. We'll pass it over to the Royals Baseball Network for Game 3 of the 3-game series between the Royals and the Rays. Ian Seymour almost participated in a combined no-hitter of the Royals last time he saw the Royals, which was a week ago today. He starts for the Rays tonight. He's not the bulk guy. He's a more traditional starter. Stephen Kolek back from paternity leave to pitch for Kansas City. Again, first pitch tonight at 6:40. Then the Royals are off tomorrow. They play Saturday. They play Sunday afternoon. This is a weird one. Broadcast start time on Sunday, 1:20.
Because it's
a 2 o'clock start on Peacock.
Yeah.
So with a 2 o'clock first pitch and the traditional 35 to 40-minute pregame on the Royals Baseball Network, they're going to move the broadcast start time 10 minutes earlier. So a 1:20 pregame before the 2 o'clock first pitch on Sunday. And then Monday, 12:30 pregame for a 1:10 Monday afternoon first pitch, which means we're on right after Royals baseball coming up next Monday. But we are taking a 3-day weekend. Maybe many of you get that for the 4th of July as well. So it's our last time to hang out with you this week. We're going to make the most of it. Still to come in this 4 o'clock hour, we're going to talk to Matt Derrick, our Chiefs insider from ChiefsDigest.com. Looking forward to having Matt join us a day earlier than usual. He's just the best. He was so gracious to move his day up a day and join us on the show. We're going to crown a weekly champion on What Is Wrong With You. We've still got headlines. We've still got either or over under. We still got Change My Mind. All kinds of good stuff here today on 580 Sports Talk. Did you watch soccer last night, Spencer?
I did. I got back from the gym right as they were finishing up, so I got to watch the end of the final. I don't like soccer.
Not a soccer guy.
I'd like soccer. It wasn't confusing. I was watching they scored a goal, then they were all like, ow. I was walking out the door as they scored the goal that was called back.
Mm-hmm.
And
Offside.
then,
That's a tricky one.
It's just like hockey, I guess. But then the stoppage time is just very annoying. Like why don't we just stop the clock when somebody's down on the ground hurt?
Ugly American. Don't suggest stopping the clock. We already introduced.
Yes, but then it comes back. It comes back at the end. So what's the difference?
It is kind of wild that it's like, yes, we introduced stoppage time because it used to be that you could just time waste, and then when it got to the 45-minute, game was over no matter what.
Yeah.
Which that's kind of silly too, right? Like you could just, in theory, you could walk up to the ball as it's being placed for a free kick, and you just kick it completely out of the stadium, which happened in a match once. Like somebody was lining up for a penalty kick that could have won the match, and somebody on the other team came up and just booted it out of the stadium. That was the point at which the rule came in that a referee could add time to the game, stoppage time, but only the referee knows how much, and it's mostly a guess, and there can be additional time to the stoppage time, and only the referee knows how much time is really left in the game.
Yes, and I was
really and that is a little bit nuts.
It was also nuts because I saw the +10, right? I was sitting there watching it, but then the whistle blew before 10 minutes was actually up on the clock.
Yeah, you don't normally see it blow. Yeah, it was like 99:57, and they blew the whistle.
Yeah, and I was like, well, what about the 3 other seconds? Like, if we're doing 10 plus 10 minutes, like, what are we doing here?
Bosnia wasn't scoring 2 goals in 3
I know
seconds.
they weren't, but
I guess that was the calculation. The rest, man, it's a warm night in Santa Clara, and they're not scoring twice in 3 seconds. Let's get out of here. Let's clock out a little early, yeah? Let's lay the keys on the table 3 minutes before quitting time. 3 seconds before quitting time. It's no big deal. Yes, there are certainly some things. Like, I was a soccer hater for many years of my life, so I understand all the arguments that people make when they are introduced to soccer, whether it's every 4 years during the World Cup or whatever it is, the stuff that they complain about, the stuff that they think is weird, I also complain about and think is weird. I wish there were a whole lot less writhing around on the floor, pretending you had shattered your femur, and then you just, like, pop up and you're cool.
Yeah, but I think it's a great feat that USA, like, not a whole different point, but USA played a man down for damn near 40 minutes.
Yes, and didn't allow a goal, and really only one or two times looked like they might allow a goal. Like, I talked about this at the very top of the show. A lot of times, if you're defending a one-goal lead and you're down a man, and this will resonate with you because it's a sport you're more familiar with, it's like killing a penalty in hockey.
Yes.
You're just get the ball down the field as far away from our goal as possible. Desperation time. We're hanging on to this with our fingernails. The United States, like, you don't see teams looking to score shorthanded very often, but soccer's different, and the United States knew that they could maybe get one shorthanded, and they did get one shorthanded. So yeah, that was pretty cool. What we did not talk about, though, what we neglected to get to in the opening hour regarding that match, I spoke about it a little bit. The terrible, terrible red card on United States star striker Folarin Balogun that is going to keep him out of the round of 16 match against Belgium.
Yeah, it's a bunch of malarkey.
It's bogus. It was such a bad, and I understand it looked terrible in slow motion, but that's why we got too much replay, man. You're not meant to see everything in slow motion. I just don't think there's any way you could say he did that on purpose.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the difference between soccer and like some of the sports we're more familiar with here in America, is that a lot of our rule books are written in such a way where intent matters. And I guess in soccer, intent doesn't matter. Like if you go studs up and step on a guy's foot, that's red, which is nuts to me. And even more is that there's no appeal process. The United States can't say, hey, watch this. There's no way this should have been a red. Can you, like in the NBA, right? You can say, hey, this shouldn't have been a flagrant one, or this shouldn't have been a technical foul. You can get a technical foul rescinded, or you can get a targeting foul, waived off under appeal. Nothing Team USA can do. They're without their best goal scorer for the round of 16. It's the only thing that makes me nervous about that Belgium match, because I think they're better than Belgium, but not going to have Balogun up front, and that is a problem. And my question is, where's the judge that got Brendan Sorsby his injunction to play in the NCAA? Where is that judge? Can we get to the Lubbock Circuit Court and get an injunction for our guy Folarin Balogun to play in the round of 16? Can somebody call the winner of the FIFA Peace Prize and get him to intervene? You think he'd carry a big stick in this World Cup? He's the FIFA Peace Prize winner.
Look,
Mr. President, tear down this red card.
If we in America can get players who decided that they wanted to forego their college eligibility and go to the NBA draft and then decide they want to play college basketball again, this guy can get his red card overturned.
I'm saying justice for Folarin Balogun. Free Ballo. Say it till it's spelled backwards. Ridiculous. Ricardo Pepi, our nation turns its goal-wanting eyes to you. Text line open, 785-272-9429. You can also interact with this program on our YouTube stream. 580 Sports Talk is the name of the channel. We appreciate those of you who are weighing in the YouTube chat today. Look forward to having some more of you check in on the chat as we go along today. So the Royals lost last night. What did I say? What did I say in the 5 o'clock hour? Hey, maybe don't throw a strike to Junior Caminero.
And what did they do?
What did Seth Lugo do in the first inning? He threw Junior Caminero a strike, and he hit it 500 miles. That was the tone was set. Not that it mattered. The Royals mustered just 6 lousy singles against 4 different Rays pitchers last night in a 4-0 loss. But,
and Carter Jensen's 20-game hitting streak came to an end.
Yeah, that's
even though
drag.
he did hit one up against the wall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough night for everybody involved. Again, it was just 6 hits. They were all singles. Cags had 2 of them, but not much to like about the 4-0 loss for the Royals last night. Quality start for Seth Lugo, if that's your thing, but not a lot to celebrate. But the news off the field was worse for the Kansas City Royals. We knew that Cole Ragans was going to need surgery. We don't know what kind of surgery. We still haven't heard.
That's today, right? He went
No, it was yesterday.
Oh, I thought he went under the knife.
Maybe it was scheduled for today, but it was announced yesterday.
Yeah.
So, it's a difference of 24 hours is kind of immaterial here. The point is he's getting his left elbow operated on. He's already had 2 Tommy John surgeries. The list of pitchers who've made it back to a big league mound after 3 Tommy John surgeries, off the top of my head, I can give you 2. TJ Antone, who's currently with the Reds. I think Todd Coffey made it back after his 3rd Tommy John, or at least he made it back to pitch in the minors and try to make a big league comeback, but it's not a long list. 2 Tommy Johns is tough enough, but you can come back and be pretty good after 2 Tommy Johns. You know who proved that? Cole Ragans 2 years ago. You know who proves it every 5 days for the Dodgers? Shohei Ohtani. So, 2 Tommy Johns is not a career death sentence. A 3rd wouldn't be nice, but we don't know if that's the surgery that Ragans needs. It doesn't sound like that's the surgery he needs. What he's dealing with, reportedly, is an impingement in that left elbow. And on the one hand, when Tarek Skubal had an impingement, they were able to clear that out so fast that he came back and he pitched in a month. That clearly is not going to be the case with regards to Cole Ragans. And if you don't believe me, let J.J. Piccolo tell you. He told the Kansas City Star yesterday, quote, he's not going to be available opening day next year. We know that. You got to try to plan around that, but also with optimism that he's coming back at some point. He's going to be up for it. He's in the right frame of mind. He knows what's ahead of him, and he'll be able to get back as quick as possible. And hopefully he's a great addition to our team sometime in the middle part of the year. What's the middle part of the year? Can you define that for me? Is that now? Would that be,
we just reached 82 games played, right? So some all-star break next year? I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably that sounds like that's what they're talking about. Is about the midway point of next season or the all-star break of next season. So here is the problem that this makes a whole lot worse. Because I will continue to say the offensive core of the Royals is strong enough. Any year you don't go for it with Bobby Witt Jr. on your team is a waste of a year. The Royals should enter 2027 thinking we should build the best team we can possibly build, make a run at the American League Central, make a run at a wild card spot. But let's look back at all the guys that we talked about potentially being a part of the mix in 2026 on the pitcher's mound and what their outlook for 2027 is. You start with Cole Ragans. Sam McDowell laid out the numbers in the Kansas City Star today, the difference between what the Royals have been when Ragans pitches every 5th day and what they have been when he has been on the shelf. It's not pretty. It's a dramatic difference. Even though Ragans' numbers this year and last don't look pretty on the surface, he is still a top-of-the-rotation starter and has top-of-the-rotation ability in a way that not only does no other current Royal have, but very few pitchers in baseball can be as good as Cole Ragans is at his best. And he's not going to pitch for the Royals until hopefully sometime in the middle part of 2027. That's the time frame that we're looking at for Cole Ragans. What about your second-best starting pitcher, Chris Bubich? Well, we already knew 2027 Bubich probably wasn't going to be on the team because he's a free agent after this year. And as Christopher points out in the YouTube chat, they can't trade him now. They'll most assuredly lose him to free agency. And if he doesn't get big money, they don't even get a compensatory draft pick. They could offer him the qualifying offer, which I think is still going to exist, or it may not. There may be a new CBA by the time we're playing baseball again, whether that's opening day 2027 or
what does this even matter, right? What do we?
We're gonna.
I know it matters. I was just kidding.
I know. Yeah,
I was making a joke.
I know. There's very easily to take a nihilist view of the 2027 baseball season or what it's going to look like. I totally get that, but let's live in a world where they're playing ball in 2027. Chris Bubich is going to be a free agent. I guess if he doesn't come back to the mound, there's a world where he maybe signs a prove-it deal with the Royals, 1 year with an option, just to prove he's healthy, and the Royals could get him back for a cheaper price.
But what is his injury?
Yes, if that's a very good question. Then he's hitting the market anyway. He's damaged goods, because now you're talking about 4 years in the last 5. He's missed significant time with injury. Michael Wacha is under contract. Seth Lugo is under contract. $14 million option for Wacha, $20 million option for Lugo. Noah Cameron is pre-arb. He's not a concern. He'll be back for as long as the Royals want him for next year, and I think the 4 beyond that. The depth beyond that. Stephen Kolek will be on the roster. I think we've seen he's, a 4th, probably more like a 5th starter in the major leagues. He's pre-arbitration. Lewinder Avala's pre-arbitration, getting the chance to fail in the rotation before the Royals decide that he's a reliever. Ryan Bergert had Tommy John surgery early this year. He'll be rehabbing from that next year. That was a guy who really would have been nice to have, given what we saw from him in a small sample after he came over with Kolek in that trade with the Padres last season. But he'll be rehabbing from Tommy John. It's no certainty that he's ready to go on opening day 2027. Bailey Falter pitched himself off the 40-man roster. He's still in the organization, but he's going to have options because he'll be, I believe, a free agent next year. I don't see the Royals tendering him a contract. Ben Kaderna had Tommy John. Now we're getting to talk about guys we were hoping maybe as prospects might be ready to impact the big league roster this year. Ben Kaderna pitched 2 innings this year, had Tommy John. He'll be rehabbing in spring training next year. Steven Zobak is still on his way back. He was a guy I was really excited about last year and then didn't get on the mound last year. He was hurt and trying to work his way back, but now he's 25 in AA. I don't know that that's a guy you feel like, oh, yes, I feel great if my 5th starter in 2027 is Steven Zobak. Remember Alec Marsh?
Yeah.
Alec Marsh will not have pitched in 2 years by the time spring training 2027 rolls around. He had shoulder surgery after a back issue, cost him all of 2025. So that's the pitching depth that the Royals have. And anybody else, like guys you're maybe a little bit excited about, like Kendry Churio, David Shields, Michael Lombardi. There's the left-hander Justin Lampkin in AA who is on the 60-day IL with an injury that nobody will say what it is. That's not great. That's the pitching depth organizationally for the Royals going into 2027. And that puts J.J. Picollo in a hell of a tough spot. Because if you want to maximize your opportunity to sell at this trade deadline.
You forgot Mitch Spence.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Mitch Spence. How could I forget Mitch Spence? If I never see him pitch in a Royals uniform again, it'll be too soon.
Yeah.
Mason Black. I guess he's probably more of a reliever anyhow now. Anyhow, this is the spot that J.J. Picollo finds himself in. You have to maximize. You don't have a lot of organizational depth. You don't have a very good farm system. It's still bottom 10 in baseball, despite some progress over the last calendar year. You are in a spot where you have to bolster your organizational depth. You have to start putting your farm system back in order. You're going to want to maximize your opportunity to be a clear seller. There's not, there are going to be teams that still take 2-3 weeks to decide what it is that they're going to do at the deadline. When you're the Royals, you have an opportunity to strike while the iron is hot. You know what it's going to be. You know what this season is. And you know that you can go to market right now and maybe maximize the value you can get for your tradable pieces by selling early. Problem. Your 2 most sellable pieces are starting pitchers with team control. Can the Royals even afford to trade Michael Wacha or Seth Lugo?
We have breaking news.
Oh, do we?
From Ann Rodgers. Cole Ragans underwent a UCL repair on his left elbow.
That is a 3rd Tommy John surgery.
That was what the Royals had feared but ultimately expected. They're now looking at getting Ragans back mid-season next year.
If it's if it takes just 1 year to rehab from a 3rd Tommy John, I'll be pretty impressed. I'll go ahead and say right now, I will be surprised if Cole Ragans is on a big league mound in 2027.
Yeah, that was breaking just 1 minute ago. She put it out.
Man, gosh.
Great timing for our segment.
Yes,
though.
yes.
We can now
appreciate Ann Rodgers doing some legwork for it. That is just
It does. It's
brutal, terrible.
Man.
3 Tommy John surgeries. It's a really short list. It's not 0. There's that. But so now that's obviously an even bigger problem for Ragans and the Royals, because
they say 10 to 12 month timeline.
That's the
for Joel
typical
Penfield.
That's a typical timeline for Tommy John these days. Typically, you're not having your third one.
Yeah, I was going to say not the third one.
Like, I would love to say with certainty we're going to see him on a big league mound by July 4th of next year. I honestly would not surprise me if it's not at all. Like, it really wouldn't. I think now, if you're J.J. Picollo, that's what you have to prepare for. If you're going to win in 2027, you almost have to keep Michael Wacha and Seth Lugo. Because if you take them off the roster and Chris Bubich signs somewhere else, and Cole Ragans is rehabbing, and Ryan Bergert is rehabbing, you're going to start the season with Noah Cameron, Stephen Kolek, and what in your starting rotation? And you're not winning the International League with that starting five. Never mind the American League Central.
He's in the organization.
Another guy with two Tommy Johns.
Yeah, he's rehabbing in the organization.
That I did not know. There was John Means threw a no-hitter. There was a time.
Yeah.
And that's just such a bad spot, a really unfortunate spot. And it's not anybody's fault, per se, other than years of bad drafting and neglected player development that the Royals are kind of still playing catch-up when it comes to identifying and developing pitching talent in their organization. But if they want to win in 2027, and they should, they might just have to bite the bullet and say, yeah, Wacha and Lugo aren't for sale. We need those guys to make 25 starts next year. And they're under contract. But you're not going to have, like, Wacha and Lugo are mid-rotation guys. And Lugo is in the decline phase of his career pretty clearly. Like, you're not getting 2024 Seth Lugo.
And what if you bring a guy like Brady Singer back? He's going to be a free agent.
Brady Singer is going to be a free agent. But, like, here's the thing, though. He is a capable middle-of-the-rotation starter. Those guys cost money.
That's true. I'm looking at the free agent set for next year.
Right. Like, and
that name popped up.
Yeah, like, obviously they're not signing Tarek Skubal.
That,
But, like,
yeah.
the middle class, even this is the middle class of pitchers. If your idea is we'd like to put 5 Michael Wacha caliber pitchers in the rotation, that's going to cost you money.
Yeah.
And you've also got to go spend to upgrade the bullpen because the bullpen's a mess. And you probably need to go get another bat.
I mean,
John Sherman, hold the bake sale. Wash some cars.
How
do you look in a bikini?
I wonder how much, if Foster Griffin's season continues, he's on a 1-year prove-it deal with the Nats. Do they re-sign him? If not, maybe he comes back to the organization.
I mean,
after a good season.
You could throw a lot of names out there right now, but the fact of the matter is J.J. Picollo has, I think, resigned himself to his fate a little bit with regards to this. He told the Star, quote, when you look at the deadline now, you're also thinking about those things for 27. If you just punt on everything for 26, now you have to climb a big mountain for 27. Yeah. So read that as get ready for a very frustrating trade deadline where instead of having Michael Wacha and Seth Lugo out front of the garage, it's going to be, what do you give me for a shiny John Schreiber? How much you willing to pay me for this lightly used Lane Thomas? That's the trade deadline for the Royals. And that ain't going to meaningfully, A, rebuild your farm system, or B, restock you for 2027. And that, again, there's some stuff that's gone wrong for the Royals that ain't nobody's fault but the fates, the baseball gods. But that is a especially cruel blow from all angles that Cole Ragans is having a third Tommy John surgery. Let's take a timeout. We'll come back with Matt Derrick, our Chiefs insider from ChiefsDigest.com, and What is Wrong with You. But first, I want to tell you about what our guys at Eagle Auto Wash and Detailing Salon are doing this week in recognition of the brave men and women in uniform who have served or are now serving our country. Eagle Auto Wash would like to show their appreciation for your service and dedication and are offering a free full-service wash to active or retired veterans. To receive a full-service wash at Eagle Auto Wash for a car, SUV, pickup, or van, veterans or active military personnel must show their current U.S. Service ID card, U.S. Service Retired ID, or Veterans Organization card to the cashier. We can't repay their sacrifice, but we can give them a clean ride and a big thank you. So come see Topeka's heroes shine this week through July 4th at Eagle Auto Wash and Detailing Salon. Soar with the Eagle. What is Wrong with You's next. So what is wrong with you time on 580 Sports Talk? We got two new stories today competing against yesterday's winner, our first of the month of July. Prison break-in. 3 guys that tried to break into a jail. Just what it sounds like. They tried to break into a penal farm with a whole bunch of contraband. Cut a hole in the fence and everything. They just saunter in, drop off a bunch of cigarettes and weed and SIM cards and cell phones, and get out scot-free. Not how it worked. They were all arrested. 2 stories today. I'll go first. You have, I'm sure, Spencer, in your life when you were a child, you were warned about taking candy from strangers. Am I right?
Yes.
That's a warning we all get. Don't take candy from strangers. If a man in a white van offers you candy, do not take it.
Yep.
Apparently, kids got the memo, but a would-be friendly repairman in Maryland did not. The scene unfolded around noon on Tuesday in the area of Cambridge Court in Taneytown, Maryland. Police were called after children reported an older man in a white work or camper-style van offering them candy before driving away when the kids ran away. Fearing the worst, officers rushed to investigate and asked neighbors to check doorbell cameras while sharing photos of a look-alike van across social media. The post exploded. By late afternoon, police announced they had identified the driver. How? He called the police on himself. Why did he do that? The older gentleman contacted the department, identified himself, and agreed to an interview. Detectives verified he had been working on a nearby home and determined he had no criminal intent. The man admitted offering the children candy as he left the work site, but told investigators he never realized how that gesture would be interpreted. We want to be very clear, the police department said, that everyone in this situation did everything right. This is the best case outcome for a scary scenario. So, kids did the right thing. Kids told responsible adults. Adults called the police. Neighbors were willing to help and assist. And then the person who realized they were the target of the search identified themselves, turned himself in, and it turned out he was just literally a friendly old guy trying to offer some kids some candy and had no intent other than that. I can hear some of you saying, yeah, whatever. But no, if the police were satisfied by that explanation, I am too. If we're being completely honest. That it wasn't just like an unmarked white van cruising around. Hey, kids, want a Jolly Rancher? But okay, even if you have the most purest of intentions, you gotta know how that's gonna look.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? You gotta know how that's gonna look. Anyway, that's my story today. What have you got, Spencer?
Have you ever just had a little few too many drinks, then crashed your car and decided to walk home and grab your tractor to pull it out?
No, I've never done any of those things.
Well, a Florida man did. He was arrested for DUI after deputies say He was under the influence when he drove a tractor to the location where he crashed a pickup truck earlier to try to tow it out of a ditch. On June 24th, deputies with the Nassau County Sheriff's Office responded to a single vehicle accident. Witness told deputies that the driver left the scene and went to a nearby residence. Body cam video shows a white pickup at an angle in the grass on the side of the road. While on scene, deputies saw the driver return to the crash site driving a tractor. Quote, he's like, I'm going to hook a tractor to it and pull it out. Then I'm going to take the tractor home and come back and get the truck. Someone can be heard responding in the video. The deputy can be heard asking what happened. Another person responds that the front end is torn up. When asked by a deputy what happened, the driver stated he was talking to a friend on the phone, was not paying attention, did not know how the crash occurred. Investigators said when they searched the pickup, they found a 15-pack of cold beer alongside multiple open containers on the floorboard. Deputies informed the driver that operating any motor vehicle on Florida roadways while impaired constitutes a DUI, prompting the driver to respond that he did not know that. Following a field sobriety exercise, deputies arrested the man.
I was just out drinking and driving, not hurting anybody, and I thought I could do it in my tractor, and it was fine.
I thought I could go. I crashed my car. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I just thought I could go get my tractor and pull it up myself. And I didn't have to bring a tow company out here. Didn't have to pay them any money.
We're in the middle of an incredible run of What Is Wrong With You stories. I have no idea who should win today. I'm going to go with... Yeah, I'm going to go with that one just because, no, man, I thought it was cool. It's a tractor. I can't get a DUI in a tractor. The old Dave Chappelle bit. I didn't know I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah, I don't know that beats prison break-in, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, let's send it to the text line in the YouTube chat. Text it in, 785-272-9429, or the YouTube chat, 580 Sports Talk. Prison break-in or the DUI story. So just text prison or DUI or type prison or DUI into the YouTube live chat, 580 Sports Talk. Get your votes. We'll count them up. Meanwhile, Matt Derrick joins us next, our Chiefs insider on 580 Sports Talk. We go to Kansas City a day earlier than usual for this week's visit with our Chiefs insider, Matt Derrick of ChiefsDigest.com. That's where he covers the Chiefs. You can find him all over all kinds of social media just by searching his name, Matt Derrick. Usually joins us again Fridays in the 3 o'clock hour, but gracious enough to join us today, one day ahead of his usual visit with us, because we're not going to have a show tomorrow on account of the 4th of July. And that's where we got to start, Matt. What's the plan? What's going on the grill for July 4th this year?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have not identified a meat yet. I'm still up in the air on that. The missus will contribute her input as well. So I have a feeling she's going to be wanting either hot dogs or hamburgers. But
sure.
I know there will be some baked beans. I'm also going back and forth between whether I'm going to put bacon or chopped up brisket in there.
Okay.
So all of that sounds
that's
delicious.
an option.
Yeah, that's
one or the other.
That's I'm all in on that. Sounding good so far. What about do you go with like chips? Do you like to have like some just regular old like Lay's potato chips or something along those lines?
Normally, if I'm doing that menu, I would do French fries and go ahead and make them up. And
all right.
I don't, but I'm trying to be on a diet right now, a low carb diet. So I'm trying to carve out potatoes as one of the no-nos on my list that I'm trying to ignore because that's a weakness for me. I need to pretty much just eliminate rice, potatoes, and pasta because those carbs will get me.
See, bit of the opposite of my 2-year-old right now, Matt. He's on a very potato forward diet. Fries and chips. He's all in. All in.
Yeah, I that's how I built my life. So yeah, no, I mean, my 4 food groups pretty much growing up. Well, and I say growing up, I mean from my 20s until my early 50s, has been potatoes, Dr. Pepper, chocolate, and barbecue sauce. So,
not quite a food pyramid there. I guess you could do 4 steps on the pyramid.
But those, I mean, just barbecue in general, I guess, not just the sauce itself. But I'm pretty sure that my blood is like 1/4 barbecue sauce, and I think my blood glucose levels would point to that.
Matt Derrick of ChiefsDigest.com joining us here on 580 Sports Talk. Where do you come down on the bratwurst? You go with that every now and again, or do you keep it all American with the hot dog on the 4th of July?
I mean, I have nothing against bratwurst. I got nothing against sausages. I mean, once again, you can't spell USA without sausage. But I'm more of just a straight hot dog guy. Beef hot dogs, kind of my angle. But I'll tell you what, as I've gotten older, and maybe this is just because growing up and everything, I just don't know if hot dogs are as good as they used to be. Hot dogs used to be amazing, and I don't know what it is, but now I'm just kind of strictly a burger man. I mean, I'll eat hot dogs, but it's not like the top of my menu. But brats are fine. I got nothing against them. I mean, I have eaten many in my life. It's just for whatever reason, it just doesn't float to the top of my to-do list these days.
I had a very good hot dog at Target Field, Minneapolis on Saturday. Went there, had a little weekend trip up to visit a new ballpark, and had a very satisfying ballpark hot dog. That's the last hot dog I had. But I'm kind of with you. Like you do the cookout anymore, especially if you got a lot of family over. You almost leave the hot dogs for the kiddos, right? Like the hot dogs are the things, like if you've got 2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds running around, they're going to eat that maybe more often than they eat the burger. And the burgers feel like the more adult selection. Does that make sense?
It does. And you're right. I mean, ballpark dogs are the best hot dogs around. I mean, that infinitely just makes them 25% more delicious. But not only that, but kids aren't judged based on what they put on a hot dog. Whereas if I'm out in public with other people are going to look at me about what I put on my hot dog, and then it can start a debate, and then some people will think less of me because I mean, if I'm going full out, it's ketchup, mustard, relish, and onion.
Okay,
and I can leave off the onion. The relish can be the third thing to go. The second, if I'm only putting one thing on, it's ketchup, though. So
yes, I'm right there with you.
By itself.
So you get jeered out of Chicago, but
it's you, me, and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, you get jeered out of Chicago if you did that. But I don't have a problem. That's what my wife prefers ketchup on hot dog. I do mustard, and if we've got onion, like the old chopped onion, I'll do that. But that's just different strokes for different folks on the hot dog front. This is a very July version of our Chiefs Insider conversation with Matt Derrick of ChiefsDigest.com. You tell we're in a dead period of the football season. Spencer, I can see you're on the other side. Are you wanting to contribute to this food conversation?
Not the food conversation. I was just going to ask Matt if he was taking a flight to New York City tomorrow and coming back for the 4th of July. Did you get the invite?
Yes. Oh, yes. The royal wedding. The royal wedding.
Yeah.
See, you know what? Since I wasn't invited, I've just blocked it out of my memory completely.
So,
but I am glad to, see. I mean, I wish I could give away, $26 million to charity for my wedding.
Who would be the funniest chief to hear got invited to the wedding? Like, what would be the funniest way to finish that sentence? Like, former chief blank was in attendance at the Swift-Kelsey nuptials.
we're going to go with former Chief not invited. So we'll exclude everybody who's currently on the team.
Yes. Well, it doesn't have to be former Chief. It could be current Chief. But just like, who would be the funniest Chief to be there?
The funniest Chief to be there.
Yes, to be there.
See, I mean, I know like most of the tight ends that have played for the Chiefs are probably going to be there. So I almost feel like it's going to be the tight end who's not there is going to be either the funniest or the saddest. I'm not quite sure which, but gosh, who would be? That's a really good question. If Tyreek isn't there, then Tyreek's going to have something to say about it.
Right.
So that's why if he didn't get invited, that would be really entertaining. So, because I don't think he's going to keep quiet about it.
Invited every tight end, but none of the wide receivers. Peyton Hendershot, you're in. Xavier Worthy, sorry, bud. See you at training camp. It's a tight end exclusive.
I'm assuming Peyton Hendershot is below the Mendoza line of the tight end invite. I mean,
that might be the answer. That might be the answer. Peyton Hendershot on the red carpet.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, Blake Bell will be there, but it won't be because Blake Bell is there with a +1. It's because Brittany Bell was invited, and he's her +1.
Ah, sure. That makes plenty of sense. Matt Derrick of ChiefsDigest.com joining us. He's our Chiefs insider, joining us on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits hotline. That's what's that's kind of the story right now. Here's my theory, and I'm going to expound on this a little bit later, but my theory is that they're already married and that the MSG thing's a smokescreen. A very expensive smokescreen, but a smokescreen.
You are not alone on that island. I have heard that theory in many places now, that they've already married in secret, and that this is just for. There's going to be a ceremony for the close friends and family, and then there's going to be a series of receptions for people who made the tier 2 and tier 3 list. I mean, again, this is really disappointed that I'm not on any of the tiers. I mean, I know that my invite sent to Big Guy at my address was because I think that's only way that Travis Kelce knows who I am. I don't think he remembers my name. He just calls me Big Guy. So that probably might have gotten lost in the mail.
Well, Madison Square Garden seats like 19,000, Matt. It's not like they're having a little white chapel down the street where space is limited. That's the other thing I get a big kick out of with this. It's like they're going to have an intimate gathering of 100 of their closest friends at Madison Square Garden. You can be an intimate gathering at a 19,000-seat arena. What are we talking about?
It is when there's a castle in there now, apparently.
Just outrageous.
That's the remarkable part. Yes, I mean how you turn an arena that size into an intimate gathering of 1,000 people. I guess I've seen it before because I was at they do like these receptions at the T-Mobile Center. It used to be the Sprint Center, but I was invited for some reason. I think it was because it was center people invited us. But they had like a banquet one year, so there was like 1,000 people at tables. All the tables were on the floor of the arena, so there were just like 8-seat tables all over the place, 1,000 people, and we got to enjoy a concert by Taylor Dane and Morris Day and the Time.
Oh, nice. Morris Day and the Time? They both showed?
Yeah.
They all showed? Wow, how about that? Couple more questions.
Morris Day and the Time, the whole, yeah.
A couple more questions from Matt Derrick of ChiefsDigest.com here on 580 Sports Talk. Matt, we have been doing the countdown to Chiefs kickoff on the program. We're going to continue to do it all the way up to opening night, that opening Monday night game. So we are today 74 days away from kickoff for the Chiefs and that Monday night home opener against the Broncos. And they don't currently have a number 74 on their 90-man roster. They had a number 74 the last 3 years, though, and that was Juwan Taylor. So my first question to you about the number 74 is this. Will history vindicate Juwan Taylor? Will we look back and say, you know what, we were a little too hard on Juwan Taylor, and he actually was an average to slightly above average starting right tackle for for a couple of championship teams?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I mean, because I feel like it might be a little bit, just depends on what happens next. I mean, if the Chiefs don't have a couple of good seasons, they want, I don't think they're going to go 6-11 again. But if they struggle over the next couple of seasons and don't make it back, then there might be some people who are like, hey, let's say the Jawan Taylor years weren't that bad. Or if whomever's there at right tackle this year, just absolutely, whether it's Jalen Moore or door number 2 or 3, who knows? But if they just are terrible and Mahomes is running for his life in a brace the entire season because the right side of the line is just a sieve, then yeah, I mean, but I could also see that he's going to just, kind of end up in the wash of, remember when the Chiefs were winning Super Bowls and it didn't matter who their right tackle was, whether it was Andrew Wiley or Orlando Brown, well, he was left tackle, but, just a kind of laundry list of nondescript tackles that the Chiefs were winning the Super Bowls with, and he's just going to be one of them. I don't think he's going to be considered a failure. He's just going to be kind of considered the noise of the Chiefs tackle situation.
Do you think he got invited to the wedding?
Ooh, you know what? I would. See, here's the thing. I mean, you're talking about 1,000 people, and I'm assuming 500. Could be wrong, but let's just say it's 500. And again, plus ones. I mean, to be in like Travis Kelce's top 250, friends and everything like that. I mean, man, that seems like a really elite list. Especially since you got to pretty much invite everybody that's on the team now for the most part. I mean, maybe a few guys just, if Travis doesn't really know him too well, I can get that. And he's going to invite some old friends too, probably some college teammates and
buddies from Cleveland Heights.
At some point, you got to draw a line. Yeah, at some point, you're drawing the line. So, I mean, if he was on the team right now, I think Juwan would be invited. But, leaving, I think he might have ended up on the south side of that line.
Oh man, that's tough. He ends up on the wrong end of the Mendoza line of the of the wedding list. Man, that's Matt Derrick at ChiefsDigest.com. He is our Chiefs insider on the program. We got to get training camp. It can't come possibly soon enough. Matt Derrick joins us typically Fridays on 580 Sports Talk. Gracious enough to join us today on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits Hotline. Matt, whatever you're chowing down on, enjoy the 4th of July. We'll talk to you again next Friday.
Looking forward to it because next week, remember, all we'll be talking about for the most part is going to be who got arrested and who shot things off their bodies.
Right. Hopefully none of the Chiefs fall into either of those categories.
Exactly. Take care, guys.
That is Matt Derrick. We will take a timeout here on 580 Sports Talk. But first, we had a lot of fun talking about the Swift-Kelsey nuptials with Matt Derrick. And I, of course, finally remember my wedding day. I remember it every day when I look down at my ring finger and I see my wedding band that I purchased at Calhoun's Jewelers here in Topeka. My wife's wedding ring and engagement ring were also purchased there. And I would gladly go through that whole experience again, not just the experience of getting married. My wedding day was awesome, but the experience of shopping for rings at Calhoun's Jewelers, they made it such an easy operation, such a great experience, treated you so well from the moment you walked into the door to the point of purchase, and they've got great options for any size hand, any taste, and if you don't see the ring of your dreams, they can help you come up with the design that you imagine. That's Calhoun's Jewelers right here in Topeka. We're back with Change My Mind to wrap up this hour. Real quick, for accounting purposes, thanks to a wide margin in the YouTube comments, the guy who didn't know he could not drive a tractor while drunk after he wrecked his car while driving drunk is our winner for the week, for the short week, our first advance to the end of July on What Is Wrong With You. Let's do a little Change My Mind. You got one today, Spencer?
Change my mind. This is the worst time of year because there's no football.
Oh, because there's no football. There is no worse days on the sporting calendar than the Wednesday and the Thursday after the Major League Baseball All-Star game. That is the truth. We'll have the World Cup. World Cup will still be cooking this year, so that'll be nice.
Yeah.
But, broadly speaking, there's a reason they call them the dog days. And, yes, it does get a little grim, a little slow on the sports side. But thankfully, we got the World Cup. We got Big 12 Media Days next week. CFB 27's coming out. Man, you catch how dirty they did Avery Johnson?
Yeah.
Gave him black hair. What is that?
That'll be changed.
They better patch that before the rest of the world buys that game. I'll tell you
Especially if they're playing it, the players next week at the Big 12 Media Days.
We got headlines, either or over under, and some baseball talk coming up on the final hour of today and the final hour of our week here on 580 Sports Talk. Let's get it. Third and final hour of 580 Sports Talk. It's our final hour of the week. We got a 3-day weekend coming up. here on the Sports Voice of Kansas, 580 WIBW, FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com, on your mobile device, on the MSC Radio app, and on our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk. So glad you're with us here on this Thursday. Dan Lucero, Spencer Dupuis hanging out with you for one more hour on this Thursday. Ahead of Royals baseball. Royals and Rays tonight. Finale of that 3-game series at Kauffman Stadium. Royals trying to avoid being swept. You know what I might do this hour? I might try and give away a pair of tickets to Sunday's game. I might see if I can make that happen for a lucky listener. So stay tuned for your cue to call on this final hour of 580 Sports Talk. I'm gonna get somebody a pair of tickets to the ball game on Sunday. Be listening. We'll give those away later on this hour. I don't mean for that to sound so threatening, foreboding. I don't know why my voice got deeper there. I was really locked in, making sure, like, do we have tickets? And the answer was yes. So, yeah, we're good, man.
You were trying to do something cool, but you had to double check on it to see if it was
right. I got real serious about it, and then yeah, my voice really deepened, and it sounded like I was threatening people. Although, you know, you can make the joke that the Royals tickets at this point are the joke about, oh yeah, somebody broke into my car. I had 2 Royals tickets on the dashboard, and somebody broke in and left 2 more. Like, yeah, you can make that joke. I know you got your jokes, but hey, you can't beat fun at the old ballpark. I'm always saying this. So yeah, we're gonna give away a pair of tickets to Sunday's game on the program later this afternoon. So or later today. So be listening for your cue to call. I'll tell you when to call, and then you can win your pair of tickets to go to the ball game. If I can log in correctly, that's what I'm trying to do right now. I keep entering the code wrong. There we go. All right. Still to come on this hour. See, there it is from the text line for the 75. I think you mean the unlucky winner of the Royals tickets. Wow. Again, I keep telling you, and again, you can't beat fun at the old ballpark. You really and truly cannot. I've sat and watched a lot of bad baseball in my life. So Royals and the Phillies. Hey, tell yourself this: you're going to see you go see Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber. Like, that's how you know when a team is down bad and they do the whole and that's when they get to the point where they're also oh, never mind. I read that wrong. Never mind. Disregard. That's when you know a team is down bad, when they start sending you the ticket emails and they start talking about who's coming to town from the other team. Where you get that. Like, I get the emails, you know, because I bought Colorado Rockies tickets before. And I get the emails in my personal email, and they'll say, come see Paul Skeens against, and it's like some Rocky you've never heard of.
Yep, was getting those emails the last few years as an Nats fan.
Yeah. See Jacob Mizorowski face Hunter Goodman. Hunter Goodman's actually good. That's not fair to Hunter Goodman. He's actually a good player. He's having a great year. He's going to be an all-star again. So I don't mean to be too big a hater. But, yeah, that's how you know that things have not maybe gone swimmingly for your hometown 9 if you're getting those ads. So Royals tickets giveaway this hour. Also this hour, we will preview tonight's series finale between the Royals and the Rays. We will also, additionally, play a little either or over under July 4th edition. And we got our headlines, of course. Our headlines and our World Cup roundup coming up here in this 5 o'clock hour. And we want to hear from you. The text line is open, 785-272-9429. That is 785-272-9429. And the live chat on YouTube, 580 Sports Talk is the name of the channel. Hey, we got another one. We got another funny man on the text line from the 785. Do you really even like your listeners? LOL. Everybody's got jokes just because the Royal. Here's the bad news from the Royals' perspective. If the Royals lose tonight, and this ought to be enough motivation. If the Royals lose tonight, I double check and make sure that I'm not lying. I want to make sure the math is correct. Yes, if the Royals lose tonight, they will have the same record as the Colorado Rockies. It's not where you want to be in the year of our Lord 2026, but that's what's at stake. Rockies won today, 14-4, beat the Marlins. Took a series off what had been the hottest team in baseball. Look out for the purple pinstripes.
Honestly, though, look out for both of our teams. Like,
Okay.
both of our teams are on the up and up.
Not really the Rockies. We can be honest about that. They got still a very, very, very long way to go.
I think the Nats could sneak into the wild card.
They could. That's a little bit more realistic for you than for me. But anyhow, let's get into our 580 Sports Talk headlines, shall we? Let's begin. Love is in the air. The Kelsey Swift nuptials are reportedly having their wedding tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden. There is a smaller rehearsal dinner planned for Thursday night.
Like happening right now.
The wedding,
allegedly.
The wedding is slated to begin 5 p.m. tomorrow at the world's most famous arena and could last until 4 a.m. the next morning, according to a copy of a city permit obtained by the Associated Press. Imagine getting married and people are trying to pull the permits for your venue for the sake of news.
So I read something today that people asked the New York State Wedding Board or whatever for a marriage license, except marriage licenses in the state of New York are private.
Huh.
You cannot get one. Like, you can't ask. You can't go on unless, like, you're the law or something. Like, you're law enforcement trying to figure this out. Hey, you can't Freedom of Information Act it. It's not part of it.
Imagine those phone calls you got to take. If you're, like, the mayor of New York is quoted in this article. New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani said Wednesday that a permit had been filed for a large event at Madison Square Garden. Quote, "We are fully prepared. There isn't anything to share beyond that." Also, New York Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch was reached and said police, quote, "will of course have a detail in place, but also declined to go into further detail."
So she had a press conference ahead of July 4th weekend, and I saw this bit, and she said that statement, and then somebody followed up and said, well, you're going to have the whole TAC team and everything ready because in other countries there have been threats against her concerts. And she said, I'm going to decline to answer that. I already answered the question about before.
Yeah, that's true. There was, gosh, wasn't there a bombing in, like, France outside of one of her concerts?
Yeah, probably.
I think that, yeah man. Anyhow, I want to play a quick game here. I'm gonna pull up this. I want to see if this list exists, and I want to pull it up. Okay, I've got the list of the 2025 receiving leaders at the tight end position, and I'm going to go down this list, and we're going to play invited or not invited to the Swift-Kelsey wedding.
Yeah,
because we know that Travis Kelce's been a big part of the advent of tight end university, and so he knows a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
It's become much more over the last handful of years. Guys like George Kittle have also been a big part of this, turning the tight end position into something like a fraternity.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go down the list of National Football League tight ends, and I want to play invited or not invited and going and not going. So, because it's different. You might send your regrets, right? And like a $50 gift card to the Container Store if you can't make it. I'm sure
they're not accepting gifts.
Oh yeah, it's a charity, right?
To Kittle, they didn't accept gifts when he was asked at TEU.
So it's there's a big charity donation, I think. That's
they
being
donated
made
$26 million between New York charities and I think across the country, including the Great Harvester one in the greater Kansas City area, whatever the Harvesters one is.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like,
yes.
no snark, no jokes. Genuinely very, very good of them to do that. All right, let's go down the list. I'm just going down the list. Tight end receiving yards last year. Trey McBride of the Cardinals. Invited or not invited?
Invited.
I'm going to say invited. Is he going?
I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to say yes. I think Trey McBride will be there. Kyle Pitts. Invited or not invited?
Not invited.
Not invited. Jawan Johnson of the Saints. Invited or not invited?
Not invited.
I kind of agree. Not invited. You don't see a lot of the NFC South. Not a lot of overlap there. Tyler Warren. Invited or not invited?
Not invited.
I think he's invited.
He's too new, though.
He is young, but again, Travis Kelce really believes in growing the game and and reaching out to the young guys at the position. I think Tyler Warren's invited. I think he goes. Dalton Schultz, invited or not invited? I'm saying invited, but sends his regards.
Yeah.
I'm saying invited. He's going to skip it. Hunter Henry, invited or not invited?
Not invited.
I'm going to say invited. They kind of came in the league around the same time, didn't they? Well, I mean, not at the same time, but Hunter Henry's been in the league, what, close to 10 years?
I guess.
Or am I making that up?
Was Hunter Henry a Charger? Or was he a Charger? Okay, then I'm going to say yes.
You think he goes?
No.
Now, Hunter Henry's 31. He's not. I thought, but yeah, he broke in 2016, so 3 years after Kelsey.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say invited and going for Hunter Henry. I think he's going to make it a point to be there. Harold Fannin, invited or not invited?
Not invited.
Harold Fannin, I'm going to say invited. Went to Bowling Green, Ohio. There's a connection there. I think he won't make it, but I think there was an invite extended. Colston Loveland of the Bears, invited, not invited?
Not invited.
Not invited, Michigan man.
Allegedly, a Bear is invited.
Which one?
Cole
Komet?
Allegedly. There's a leak out there.
Interesting. So, yeah, only one, they had a limit. One Bear tight end per wedding, per side. So, yeah, if Travis invited Cole, then Taylor would have had to invite Colston Loveland. And I don't think that happened. Brock Bowers, invited or not invited?
Not invited.
Oh, I think absolutely invited. He's one of the biggest stars of the position. I think he's invited.
I mean, yeah, okay, I'll change my mind.
Yeah, I think Bowers is invited, and I think he's going. Aronde Gadsden of the Chargers, invited or not invited?
Not invited.
I think not invited.
I think you get one per team that's not on his team.
This is a layup. George Kittle, invited, not invited?
Yeah, and he's already been seen there.
Yeah, he's going. Jake Ferguson of the Cowboys, invited or not invited?
Not invited.
I'm going to say invited. Maybe not. I'm going to say invited for Ferguson. I'm assuming the invite list must be gargantuan. Dallas Goedert, invited, not invited?
I think invited because he runs in the circles with Jason Kelce.
Played with Jason. Yeah, this is one I feel very confident.
I just think the circles, right? Like if they ever were to merge circles or like Travis goes to hang out with Jason, that's when I think something like that.
Yeah, I think Dallas is invited. Cade Otton of the Buccaneers. I'm going to say not invited.
Not invited.
Lost to them in the Super Bowl. Can't invite him. Dalton Kincaid of the Bills. Invited, not invited?
Not invited.
Yeah, not invited. Too much.
It's the Bills.
Rivalry there. Chiga Conquo of the Titans. Invited, not invited?
Not invited.
I'm going to say not invited. Brenton Strange of the Jags.
Not invited.
Not invited. Let's skip further down the list here. Zach Ertz.
I think Zach Ertz is invited. The Ertz were just on the Kelsey podcast.
Okay.
Last week.
I'm going to say invited.
So I'm going to say invited too. And it seems like when they were on the podcast that they talked a lot.
Sam Laporta. Invited, not invited?
Ooh. Sneaky. Because didn't he just get a big contract a few years ago?
He did.
So he's I'm going to say yes.
I think he got invited. I don't think he'll go. TJ Hawkinson of the Vikings. Invited, not invited?
Not invited.
I'm going to say not invited. Mark Andrews?
Didn't Mark Andrews... Was it Mark Andrews that had the little scuffle with the Chiefs with their helmets? Was that Mark Andrews?
I think it was. Mark Andrews. Yeah, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
Like mutual respect there, but not like invite you to my wedding. Mutual respect. I'm scrolling the list, not counting Chiefs players. I'm trying to think who would be the player the lowest on this list in terms of receiving yards that would get an invite to the Swift Kelsey wedding. And I guess I don't follow the lore, I guess, closely enough. Like maybe like Foster Moreau has been on the podcast before. I genuinely have no idea.
I don't think so.
But Durham Smythe.
I think G-Reg gets an invite.
Greg Olsen? I can see that.
Allegedly, Matthew Stafford got an invite and is going.
Oh, okay. Wow.
There's allegedly been seen in New York City today.
All right. The answer to the lowest on the list, fewest receiving yards last year, who maybe got invited is Robert Tonyan, just because they played together last year. But he only had one receiving yard last year.
Yeah.
One receiving yard on one catch. Anyway.
Mitch Schwartz and why am I blank? Creed. They were seen posted. Schwartz's wife or girlfriend posted that they were in the plane headed to NYC.
How about that? And good. I'm glad Mitchell's getting to experience that. Anyway, that is one of the silliest ways we've ever spent time on 580 Sports Talk. I'm glad we did that. I'm glad we went through that thought exercise. Anyway, Spencer, I know that you have been waiting all day. You were going to hold your breath until you passed out if I didn't let you bring this headline up on 580 Sports Talk today. So I'm going to lay out. This is all you.
Yes. You were already at lunch when this news populated out, and I screamed.
I'm sorry I missed that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I went to go look for you, but you weren't there. The NHL's greatest goal scorer of all time is returning. Alex Ovechkin has decided to return for the 2026-2027 season, his 22nd career season and his 22nd with the Washington Capitals. And this didn't leak out. I really thought this was cool. The Capitals made the announcement that he had signed a one-year deal with an average annual value of $4.25 million. And what's pretty cool about this deal is there's a thing in the NHL CBA where you can give older, or I guess veterans above the age of 35 incentive-laden deals so they don't cost you a lot on your salary cap. So Ovechkin's new deal carries a $1 million base salary and a $3.25 million signing bonus. However, he will earn a $4.75 million bonus if he plays at least 10 games, which would increase his salary to $9 million, and part of that $9 million goes across caps over the next few seasons. But yes, the NHL's greatest goal scorer coming back for another season. And people were speculating online yesterday because he became a free agent. Technically, free agency started and he hadn't re-signed, that he was a free agent for the first time in his career. And there was a lot of people, a lot of quote-unquote insiders saying that he was done. But I think he loves the moves the Caps made this offseason, from the few trades they made to the free agent acquisitions they made over the last couple of days, that he's back. And I think the Caps are trying to send him out on top.
Yeah, I don't closely dig into the NHL offseason because it feels like the season just ended and they've already got like camp rosters, rookie camp rosters out, and that doesn't compute with me. Like, It doesn't, like, when the NHL and the NBA start rolling out like their summer league rosters and stuff, it just, like, how is this already happening? The season was just happening. It was just yesterday that the finals ended. But yeah, it does seem like Washington's made some not maybe all-in moves, but definitely moves with the intent to bolster the top end of talent on that roster to try and give the Grade 8 one more run at the Stanley Cup, which we should do for the greatest player in franchise history, one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah, and I think there was no doubt he was coming back, right? Like, after they didn't make the playoffs in Columbus in their final game, he basically said, like, he wasn't done. He said he wasn't done, that he wanted to play more, but I think it was, he's a Russian, right? And he's going to go back to Russia and live once he's finished his NHL career. Where did everything sit there in that aspect of his life? And because I believe too, he will. So a lot of foreign hockey players, they commit their life to their home team, I guess you would say. In this case, it would be the Dynamo of the Moscow Dynamo in the KHL. So I believe Ovechkin, once he's done, he'll take a GM or pseudo GM role with them, because that's kind of what they do. Like, Nick Backstrom has done it as he's gone back to his home country of Sweden. So yeah, exciting day for the Caps, exciting day for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When I think of hockey, all I really know is Ovechkin. Because I really start, like, they had the lockout that year, 2004, I think. Was it 2004?
Yes, 2004, 2005, yeah.
When he got drafted, so he didn't play. And then, 2005, Sidney Crosby got drafted. So that whole thing has basically been my life of, like, when I understood hockey, when I was 6 or 7 years old. So, yep.
Next headline for me, this is from the NBA. You know, the NBA is going to have the Summer League. We just mentioned that. Summer League is going to start Northern California, Salt Lake City, and Las Vegas. And they're going to incorporate a rule that they have been using in the G League for the last 6 years. And I ought to be honest, I had no idea they were using this rule in the G League. I don't really watch a lot of G League basketball. But this is a new rule. It's the one free throw rule. And what it means is if you are fouled, you go to the free throw line for free throws, whether it's an and one opportunity, a +1, if it's a 2-shot foul or a 3-shot foul. Instead of shooting all those free throws, you can shoot one free throw. And if it's a 2-shot foul, your one free throw is worth 2 points. And if it's a 3-shot foul, your one free throw is worth 3 points. This rule will be in place until the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter and throughout overtime when standard free throw rules will apply. I love this note. The one free throw rule has been used to improve game flow in the G League because, yes, that's the biggest concern the NBA has. Game flow with regards to free throws. I cannot say how bad an idea this is without resorting to the kind of language would get me kicked off the air forever. I cannot do it. It is such a bad idea. You think guys are grifting for free throws now? And they are. Your 2-time reigning MVP. That's his entire offensive game. James Harden's going to the Hall of Fame because he's an all-time grifter. Like, imagine now the willingness to do that for any player because all I have to do is make one and I get 2 points. Or all I have to do is make one and get 3. It's going to get worse from behind the three-point arc. That's where you're going to have guys like head faking, like 60 feet from the basket and trying to throw up slop so they can get one free throw to get 3 points. This rule, I cannot believe they would seriously consider introducing this in the NBA. Game flow, I promise, nobody's worried about the length of NBA games. Nobody is watching the NBA and thinking, yeah, the big problem with these games is they're about 5 minutes too long. We just cut out some of those free throws. You want to cut out the free throws? Stop rewarding the grifting. Stop sending foul merchants Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to the line 10 times a game. Stop rewarding that, and then you can speed up your damn game flow. Stupid. Just the dumbest rule I've ever heard in my life. I hope it never sees the light of day in the NBA. All right, let's get to our World Cup roundup, shall we?
Let's do it.
Open wide for some soccer!
As mentioned earlier on the program, the United States defeated Bosnia and Herzegovina 2-0 last night in Santa Clara. Goals by Folarin Balogun and Malik Tillman, sending the U.S. to the round of 16. It's their first win in the knockout stages of the World Cup since 2002. They will be seeking a trip to the quarterfinals for the first time since 2002 when they play Belgium on Monday in Seattle. They'll have to do it without their leading scorer for the tournament as Balogun received a controversial red card in the second half, forcing the United States to play a goal up and a man down for the better part of the second half. Ricardo Pepi or, Haji Wright are the other candidates to potentially lead the line for Team USA on Monday in Seattle. But the United States is moving on in the World Cup. So is Spain. They rolled over Austria 3-0 earlier today. Didn't hardly break a sweat in the process. That's their first win in the knockout stages since they won the World Cup final back in 2010. So it's been a long time since Spain had advanced. They'll play the winner of the 6 p.m. Central Time match tonight between Portugal and Croatia. Meanwhile, there's one other match scheduled for 10 p.m. tonight. That'll be Rock Chalk Algeria taking on the Swiss. So those are your World Cup matches for today and tonight. Tomorrow, the round of 32 concludes. Australia and Egypt at 1 p.m., Argentina and Cabo Verde at 5 p.m., and then Colombia and Ghana in the 8:30 match. That match, of course, is at Kansas City Stadium in Kansas City. Then the round of 16 begins on Saturday. Canada against Morocco and Paraguay versus France. Sunday, Brazil, Norway, and Mexico, England. And then on Monday, Team USA plays Belgium, and Spain will play, again, the winner of the Portugal and Croatia match. That is your World Cup roundup, and those are your 580 Sports Talk headlines. We're going to play a quick round of either or over-under on the other side of this break and talk some Royals baseball as well to conclude the program today. But first, I want to pass this along for our veterans, both active duty and retired, in recognition of the brave men and women in uniform who've served or are now serving our country. Our friends at Eagle Auto Wash and Detailing Salon would like to show their appreciation for their service and dedication. On July 4th, when Eagle Auto Wash will be open, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., on July 4th, veterans and active duty military can receive a free full-service wash. That's the high-pressure spray. That's the soft cloth cleaning and buffing, underbody flush. They'll wipe the dash. They'll vacuum your seats, floors, and mats. They'll clean your windows inside and out. The full-service wash. And nobody does the full service better than Eagle Auto Wash and Detailing Salon. All you have to do to receive a free full-service wash for your car, SUV, pickup, or van, veterans or active military personnel must show their current U.S. Service ID card, U.S. Service Retired ID, or Veterans Organization card to the cashier. And also, in addition to that, how about a 20% discount on all annual unlimited wash passes on Veterans Day coming up as well for our active duty and retired military. They cannot repay their sacrifice, but they can give them a clean ride and a big thank you. So come see Topeka's heroes shine, the locally owned and operated Eagle Auto Wash and Detailing Salon, 2110 Southwest Chelsea Drive in Topeka. Eagle Auto Wash and Detailing Salon. We'll take a break, come back with that round of either or over under here on 580 Sports Talk. .35 on 580 Sports Talk. Time for a round of either or over under. We're going to do a little 4th of July version of either or over under today. I got some either ors. We're talking about the cookout. I think we do some variation of these questions every year, but they're always fun to do. So, either or the 4th of July barbecue, burgers or dogs? Let's start there.
Burgers.
Yeah, like we were talking about with Matt Derrick, feels like the more adult choice, even though like I'm not too old to enjoy a hot dog.
No, I like hot dogs. I love burgers more.
Yeah.
I could eat burgers 7 days a week.
I do love a hamburger. I think they're more satisfying to cook, more fun to cook, more
Yeah.
satisfying to pull a good burger off the grill. A hot dog, you know, kind of already cooked. You can eat those suckers right out the fridge if you want. I don't know why you would, but you could. No, I'm with you. I'm burgers. How about this? Either or. Ruffled or non-ruffled potato chips.
Oh, Ruffles.
Really?
Ruffles make it 10 times better. I don't know. It's just the texture when you're eating them, like the feeling.
Okay. You like the texture of it. It's interesting way to set the argument, but I can understand that. I don't know, man. There's something about, like, I do. Like, there are certain flavors of Ruffles I absolutely love, like the hickory barbecue. Oh, my God. Maybe my favorite potato chip. So maybe my answer is the ruffled ones. But, like, for the barbecue, there's something about that yellow bag of Lay's potato chips that just is, like, the perfect pairing.
I don't even know. To me, it's something about the bowls. Bowls of chips. That's what I remember at parties.
Sure.
It's just, you take you go, and you hear the air come out.
Yeah.
And then you dump it into this big old bowl, and you put it out. Like, that is holiday cookout right there.
Absolutely. All right. And my last one, from you off the grill, and then you got the chips. Then you go to the cooler. You going with the beer? Or you going with the hard seltzer / hard lemonade, hard beverage?
So this is a hard one because Olivia is big hard seltzer, hard whatever
Sure.
So she'll try anything.
The Mikes, perhaps?
Not the Mikes.
Smirnoffs?
No.
Okay.
She's the hard seltzers.
More of the seltzers. Okay.
But you know, the hard seltzer brand is kind of dying. The White Claw or whatever. It's more into like,
had a moment. Everybody had a seltzer. Everybody had a seltzer. They even did a Saturday Night Live sketch where it was like, yeah, J.C. Penney has a seltzer.
It's more into the vodka soda thing now.
Okay.
Where it's like low carb or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Is that what the high noons are?
Yeah.
I do like a high noon.
So John Daly has a line called Good Boy.
Interesting. I bet he does.
He's got like the golf course. Like, they got a transfusion one.
Okay.
And they've got his version of an Arnold Palmer. And man, I had one of those the other day, last weekend. So good. I'm usually a beer guy, but they're just really good.
So, yeah, like, if I'm just having one or two, I'll have a beer. But if it's going to be like, if it's an all day event, you don't want to overdo it. Typically, the alcohol content on the hard sodas or the hard seltzers is a little lower.
Yeah.
So you probably have more of those spread out over the day, and you won't at the end of the day feel like you need to go to sleep. Where, you know, you have like 6 beers, you're going to take a nap. So, yeah, it just depends. But like, I'm reaching for a beer typically before I'm reaching for a hard seltzer, hard soda. But you know, also sometimes there's no substitute for a nice cold Coke or Pepsi if that's your jam too. Sometimes those taste really, really. The sweetness of those can be really, really tasty. Or just a lemonade, like a cold lemonade, be great on a day like July 4th around here. Gonna be hot. Gonna be a hot one. You got either or over under today?
I mean, you kind of took it. I was gonna go hot dog or hamburger, but over under. How many videos do we see released this weekend of Travis Kelce going crazy?
I'm sure everybody at that wedding is going to sign an NDA.
But also, yes. So it's like, are we no phoning it at all? I feel like Travis Kelce celebrating his wedding could go so hard. Like, it could be a documentary, like a mini doc.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. The footage will come out on like a Hulu documentary. Like the wedding itself, like the wedding video will come to Netflix or something like that.
Disney
or
Plus.
ESPN Plus. Yeah, something like that. But so yeah, I think it'll be NDA. Everybody in that building, turn in your phones. And yes, because we are filming for a Netflix special.
Could you imagine though?
So I'm going to say under.
I have FOMO. I get FOMO.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes you really do need your phone. Like last Wednesday night or Tuesday night, I turned off my phone. Turns out I really needed my phone. Something happened that I really needed it. Could you imagine going from, 3 o'clock till 4 a.m. and not having your phone?
You know, that's a good point. I'm sure some of the attendees have kids.
Or do they have a designated phone zone where you can go into this room and check your phone?
That might be. Yeah, you go in there. You go in there every couple of hours just to make sure the babysitter hasn't called.
Yeah.
Or you can be paged, like at the front desk, like that somebody's keeping all the phones, and it's their responsibility could you page like Cole Komet, the babysitter, has a question. Like, I don't know. I don't even know if Cole Komet has kids.
That's a real long time to go without your phone.
It is. No, believe me, I'd really struggle with that. Believe me on that.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I will go under, though. I think there's going to be some level of NDA. I think everybody who's there understands what being a celebrity is. And so I think
there
it'll be
always
pretty.
is with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I mean,
be a tight lid on it.
Even our guy, I don't know if you heard about this. Our guy Rob, who works with us on 94.5, 106.9.
Yeah,
he went down to her house in Tennessee. And when she released her song from Toy Story, and he got to hold her Grammy and take a picture with her.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is either or over under today. We're going to take a break, come back, talk a little Royals baseball. But first, I want caller number 3 to 785-272-9429. You're going to spend Sunday at the K, a 2 p.m. start. See the Phillies and the Royals. Caller number 3 to 785-272-9429 wins the tickets. Caller number 3, it's a 2-pack of tickets. 785-272-9429. You're going to see the Royals on Sunday. We'll take a break. Come back with more 580 Sports Talk. .544 on 580 Sports Talk. Round and third heading for home on this Thursday. It's our last show of the week. We get Friday off. 4th of July coming up. Saturday, of course, 4th of July. Royals baseball tonight. Royals and Rays wrapping up their 3-game series. Royals got blanked last night 4-0, and to make matters worse, they got to face a guy who almost had a hand in no-hitting them a week ago today at Tropicana Field. Ian Seymour, the left-hander, will get the start tonight for the first-place Rays. 4-1 with a 4.32 earned run average. Stephen Kolek is back from paternity leave, and he will take the ball tonight for Kansas City. The lineups, Royals are going with their regular lineup for the most part. No Salvador Perez, though, and about that more in a second. Carter Jensen will catch and lead off, followed by Bobby Witt Jr. at short, Jack Caglione at first. Lane Thomas is the cleanup hitter again in center field. Starling Marte is DHing and batting fifth. Then Nick Lofton's at third. Michael Massey's at second. Isaac Collins in left. Cameron Meisner in right field tonight. is batting ninth. Tampa Bay will go with Yandy Diaz, the DH, Jonathan Aranda at first, and Royal Killer Junior Caminero at third. 9 home runs in his last 6 games, and he has absolutely torched the Royals this season, including a home run in the first inning in yesterday's game. Victor Mesa Jr. is the right fielder, batting cleanup, followed by Chandler Simpson in left, Cedric Mullins in center, Taylor Walls at short, Richie Palacios at second, and Hunter Fiducia is behind the plates. The same lineup that started for the Rays tip to tail last night. Royals made roster moves today. Jose Cuas, we hardly knew ye or got to know ye again after pitching in last night's game in 2 innings, 1 run on 2 hits with 3 strikeouts. Cuas was demoted to make way on the roster for Stephen Kolek, who had been on the family emergency leave list. So Cuas was sent down. Then the Royals made an additional move or set of moves today. They have recalled catcher Luke Maile from AAA Omaha and selected his contract, adding him to the 40-man roster. Royals fans may remember Luke Maile from his time on last year's roster, appeared in 25 games for the Royals, actually hit respectably well, 702 OPS in 54 plate appearances. So far this year down at AAA Omaha, Maile was batting just 202. But he's not coming to the bigs for his bat. He's coming because the Royals must need a catcher. And if Carter Jensen is catching tonight and Salvador Perez is not in the lineup, I think it's pretty easy to draw some conclusions that maybe Salvador Perez is dealing with, if not an out-and-out injury, at least some discomfort that's going to keep him out of the lineup today, and obviously have the off day tomorrow, but maybe through the weekend, and the Royals doing that thing they do where they go and they get an extra catcher on hand. Earlier this year was Elias Diaz, but he's not with the organization anymore. He's now with the Rangers. So Luke Maile, next man up. To make room on the 26-man roster for Maile, the Royals option outfielder John Rave back to Omaha. To make room for Maile on the 40-man roster, Eric Sarantola was designated for assignment. You may remember that Sarantola totally lost the strike zone in his most recent outing with the Royals, walking 6 of the 7 batters he faced in the 6th inning of Tuesday night's game. He had made his first 4 big league appearances with the Royals this season and pitched to an ERA over 10 with 10 walks to 7 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings. For Omaha this year, he'd pitched decidedly better. In fact, he'd been their primary closer, saving 11 games with a much more respectable 43-16 strikeout to walk ratio in his 30 1/3 innings. Still just 26, right-hander. Royals had to make way with somebody leaving the 40-man roster, and Sarantola, a bit of a victim of the numbers game. I'm not sure anybody who saw him on the big league mound the most recent time is going to be lining up to claim him, and I think that's probably what the Royals are hoping, is that they can sneak him through. They can sneak him through waivers on that 40-man roster. There's not really anybody else they'd want to. Well, I mean, they could, I guess, if they wanted, recall Ryan Bergert and put him on the 60-day, because technically right now he's on the minor league roster. He's not on the big league roster, so there's no 60-day move for him. But they could do that. They could recall Ryan Bergert and place him on the major league 60-day IL. And they just have to pay him a major league salary. And
probably why they're not doing it.
Yeah, it's probably why they're not doing it, if we really want to be honest. That's one of those things that is
business of baseball.
It's nice when a big league team does that, but it is certainly not a requirement, and teams don't treat it like one. So those are the roster moves for the Royals today. Luke Maile is back up, and we're guessing, we don't have, unless Ann Rodgers had anything on that front or Matt Quatrero had anything on that front pregame. I don't know if you had seen that, Spencer, today.
On what?
On regarding Perez.
Elbow.
Okay, it's an
Soreness.
elbow soreness.
Yeah, Salvador Perez is dealing with with a sore left elbow, per Ann Rodgers.
This says sore right elbow on NBC Sports Fantasy. Either way, it's an elbow.
Sore elbow.
Yeah, and that is why he's not playing tonight. And clearly the Royals don't want him to throw for a couple of days. So Maile is on the roster as insurance. Royals could use a win. Like I said earlier, if they lose tonight, they will have the same record as the Colorado Rockies, the one team in professional baseball this year most openly not trying to win games with their roster construction. And the Royals would have the same record if they lose tonight. So it would, behoove them to not do that if they can find a way to beat the Rays tonight. Again, a quick reminder while we're on the topic of the Royals. The Royals are off tomorrow. It's an odd day to have an off day, but it is an off day because of the World Cup match that'll be right across the parking lot.
At Kansas City Stadium.
Kansas City Stadium, yes. So Friday night, July 4th, it's a 7:10 first pitch against the Phillies, 6:30 pregame here on 580 WIBW and FM 104.9. Sunday, 2 o'clock first pitch, which means the broadcast start time is 1:20 on the network. And then on Monday, before we reconvene and start 580 Sports Talk for a new week, it'll be a 1:10 first pitch. So a Monday afternoon game on July 6th, pregame coverage at 12:30 here on your home for Royals baseball. We'll take one last break. We'll come back with a final word, send you into the 3-day holiday weekend here on 580 Sports Talk. Wrapping up, walking off 580 Sports Talk on this Thursday, going into a 3-day weekend. Spencer Dupuy, give us your final word, please.
Yeah, I got a little bit of time here, so I'm going to give you a little more than one here. Talked about it earlier in headlines. My favorite hockey player of all time, Alex Ovechkin, coming back for what's likely to be a swan song, and he said he didn't want it. He said he didn't want the whole kit and caboodle of somebody playing, one of the greats playing for the last time. But, man, I think that's going to happen this next season. Every single time he visits a place for the last time, I think the captains on the other team are going to show respect to him like the Penguins tried to do at the end of last season, and he kind of shuffled them back over. But, man, it's crazy that 22 years out of my 28 years I would have been able to of life would have been able to watch the same guy playing hockey who's the best at his position. That is the first part of my final word. The other part is happy 4th of July weekend, and just be safe, everybody out there. And there's a reason we've been around for 250 years. Let's make it another 250 years, even though there's a lot of devices in the world right now. Just come together, have a great time, and have a few brews if you want to, but make great choices. And That's been my final word.
Yeah, my final word will start there, stem off of that. I say that when we go into the holiday weekends on this show. It used to be a thing that my professors, one of my professors, my favorite professor in college, would always tell us as we left his classroom. We had a Friday class. Make good choices this weekend. Do smart things. Make sure that when we reconvene on Monday after Royals baseball here on 580 Sports Talk, each and every one of you got the same number of fingers that you did right now. Count them. Look down at your hands. Count them. Make sure, maybe some of you don't have all 10, but make sure however many you got right now is the same number that you got when we come back here on Monday. And, be smart, be safe, have a great time with family and friends, and celebrate July 4th, celebrate America's semi-quincentennial celebration. That's a kind of an archaic word, but it's a fun one. Semi-quincentennial, 250th anniversary. And remember, that flag belongs to all of us. That flag doesn't belong to a political party you like or a political party you hate. That flag belongs to you and me and all of us, and every single one of us with our American story is what makes America truly great. And those are the things worth celebrating. And then we can all sit on Monday and hopefully watch the United States men's national soccer team, which represents so much of the goodness and the dream and the hope of America to take down the Belgians and keep on keeping on in the World Cup. Have a fantastic and safe weekend, everybody. Thanks for being here with us. We're back with you on Monday following Royals baseball until 6 o'clock. Royals baseball against the Rays coming up next. For Spencer Dupuis, I'm Dan Lucero, and this was 580 Sports Talk. Good night!